This morning. Hey, Brianna.
Hey, good morning. It was such a nice weekend. I hope you enjoyed, although I know it was very warm outside, and especially if you had any games or sports this weekend and you were out in that sunshine, it got pretty warm. As we get into today, though, this is going to be the coolest day that we've had in a little while since we were dealing with that warm up. So we're going to continue to 70 degrees. Now, our temperatures are going to fluctuate this week. Most days it's just going to be really nice, but what we're going to be seeing on and off through this week are the possibility of some gusty winds for at least some possibility of more low 80s inland this week too. So while we are cooling down, we're still hanging on to some really nice temperatures. And then we're also going to talk about any small little tiny opportunities of some rain coming up here in just a little bit. Rachel, John, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brianna, thanks. This morning,
especially if you were out in the sun, but we're going to start to cool off now, and it's going to be pretty significant cooling today too. So I think you will notice it, but we still have these cool temperatures to start. Even with this cool down though, it's still going to be really beautiful for the afternoons, but we're really hanging on to some warm temperatures down into the low desert. You can see being outside. So not only are we talking about some cooler temperatures this week, we will still have the opportunity to see some warm days. We're going to have some winds on and off too. So for right now, and I think we'll see some more issued throughout the week, we have a wind advisory in place for some of the valleys, part of the San Fernando Valley up towards Santa Clarita near northern Ventura County and that little sliver of the Antelope Valley foothills. These are going to be winds coming out of the northwest or northeast at times. Some just a breeze, and then others gusts right around 35 miles per hour. We're expecting stronger winds with the next low pressure that passes by. So we have two this week that are going to be moving around. And so here's the first one, and this is north of us. And it's causing this trough here, and that's causing us to cool down. And then as we head into the next couple days, we're going to get a nice little warm up. For Tuesday, Wednesday, our temperatures will rebound. And then between Wednesday and Thursday, this next one rolls through north of us. And there is the possibility that we could get some mountain showers by the time we head into Wednesday night through early Thursday. By the time we head into this weekend, it's really going to be dependent upon where this low pressure lands, because it's kind of moving around here south of us, it looks like. But if it moves off the coast more, there's a possibility we could get some spotty little showers. And then there's another possibility that it stays on the inside and we don't. This is what's going to happen is all these low pressures are passing by, especially through not just the first part of this week, but the second part. Our winds are going to pick up. So by this afternoon, we'll see those wind advisories go in place. You see it picking up for the mountains. Most of us just getting a light breeze, and then we do kind of see them back off as we get into the overnight hours. But as we head closer to the Wednesday, Thursday time period, that's when we're going to start to see these winds pick back up late Wednesday afternoon, and you see it getting a little slightly on Thursday. So we're going to come up a couple days, come back down a little bit, and then it does look like we bump it back up by this weekend. All in all,
this morning, Leslie Lopez is off. Brianna Ruffalo watching things for us. How's it look, Brianna?
Hey, good morning. Well, I know it was such a warm weekend, and today we're going to see a pretty significant cool down, but our temperatures will still be really beautiful this afternoon. Now, we're looking live from LAX, and we do have some partly cloudy skies out. It's about 57 degrees. You're going to want a little sweater as you step out. It's not too bad, especially for some inland spots. Mild conditions. The beach is getting up to about 65, the mountains at 55 degrees, and the high desert also very mild. Now, we don't have much in the way of significant rain in the forecast still, so forecast is still trending very dry. We do have a couple opportunities. Good morning. We are in for some changes today. Temperatures will be quite a bit cooler. It's still going to be really nice, but we're just back to kind of more mild temperatures now for most of this week. It's about 57 degrees over into Van Nuys. We will have some clouds to start, but the big story, going to be mild temperatures. We're back to 70s this week. For the most part, there will be a couple days that inland could get back into some low 80s. We'll get back to more opportunities for some morning fog and clouds, because now we're back to a sea breeze, which is going to be nice to help us cool off a bit. And then this week, on and off, really for several days, we're going to be talking about some winds coming out of the northwest or northeast. And there's several different days where they're expected to be strongest. So I'll go over that timing so you know when those winds are going to pick up. And then by the time we get into midweek, there is a little opportunity for some of our northern mountains, Ventura, LA counties, to get some showers as early as about Wednesday night as low pressure passes by north of us. Any opportunities are not looking too significant, but there's going to be a couple chances that we could see some spotty light little showers in the forecast. So I'll show you when that could be coming up here in just a little bit. John, Rachel, back to you.
All right, Brianna, thank you. Major look at the forecast now. Meteorologist Brianna Ruffalo is in, and the weekend was just gorgeous and hot, and Things are cooling down now, right, Bree?
Yeah, today's going to be a really nice cool down, and I think it will be noticeable. But it was also so beautiful this weekend, too, to have those the nighttime hours be a little bit more mild. So if you were out in the later hours of this weekend or you had dinner plans outdoors, it was just so nice, especially once it started to cool off a little bit. Looking live into the valley, we will have some marine layer cloud of 50s, a lot of 60s. You see this warm little pocket down toward Palm Springs where we're close to 70. But the rest of us, do 61 downtown LA, and a little more mild in Anaheim too at about 62 degrees. So we're at a nice little dip. Not just because we're seeing this trough pass through, but also because we have a nice little sea breeze that is helping us cool off as well. So we're looking at just some light breezy conditions, but a wind advisory will go in place this afternoon through tomorrow because we're going to start to see some of these areas fill in with a nice little breeze, especially out toward areas of Santa Clarita, parts of the San Fernando Valley, and then up toward northern Ventura County Mountains, and then that little sliver up toward Antelope Valley too. So gusts up to about 35 yet as this low pressure passes by with this trough, but then we're going to see something else happen this week. So we're going to see another one between Wednesday and Thursday. These winds are expected to be a little stronger. There's going to be an opportunity for some mountain showers, at least for northern Ventura and LA counties. Most of us are expected to stay pretty dry, but if you're near some of those foothills and mountains, you could pick up a couple sprinkles. Then we rebound. By the time we head into this weekend, our temperatures are expected to get back to some low 80s. So even with cooler temperatures this week, it is still going to be on the warm side for several days, but we're really watching this low pressure by this weekend because depending where it goes, especially if it stays off the coast here, it could spin up some light shower if that low goes over the water and pulls up some more moisture. Chances are minimal, though. So right now, we're very mild, and then we will get warmer by the time we get into this weekend. And if we have to add in a little to Thursday, and then by the time we take you out to the deserts, pretty mild for the next 7 days. Palm Springs hanging on to some warm 80s, though. All right, here's another look at temperatures sponsored by Disney and Pixar's Hoppers in theaters everywhere Friday.
Warm weather probably melted a lot of that snow, too.
I know, it was so warm this weekend, and we are talking about cooler temperatures to start this week. So it is all shifting, but I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It definitely did get warm out there. And now we're going to start to see quite a difference starting this week off. Now we have a lot of mid and high level clouds, which is bringing us a really beautiful sunrise this morning. It's about 58 degrees. It's cool at LAX. And then as we look live into California Adventure, cool temperatures here too. A lot of 50s and 60s. And then we'll get into this afternoon, and it is going to be a lot more mild. It's not going to be cool, though, but we'll be getting a lot cooler. And so we should be seeing a lot of upper 60s to low, maybe even some mid 70s inland. So we could see the return of some more fog or morning clouds this week. But as we really head into some of these afternoons, mid and high level clouds are going to be possible because we're going to have several storm systems and low pressure passing around us. So there's going to be a little opportunity for some spotty light showers. I'll talk about that in just a bit. The other story, other than cooling temperatures, is going to be some wind, and then we will have some showers, at least for our northern mountains like LA, Ventura counties, by about Wednesday night through Thursday. But we're really watching this low pressure that's going to be by this weekend, and that could bring us some spotty showers as we get into, there's a several day period. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. No significant rain in the forecast, though, but I'm going to show you some of these little opportunities in just a bit. John, Rachel, Tony, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brianna, thank you.
Weekend, but changes on the way, Brianna.
Yeah, I know today's going to feel quite different. We're going to be back to much more mild temperatures now. So if it was a little too warm for you, we will start to just see cooler temperatures, but it's still going to be really beautiful. It's not going to be cool unless you're up into the mountains. So most areas should just be very mild. We're looking live from Long Beach. We don't have a whole lot in terms of low cloud coverage. So mid, high level clouds brought us a really beautiful sunrise to start. And we are starting with some cool temperatures. And then we're going to just head into some very mild conditions later today. Upper 60s, low 70s if you're closer to some of these coastal areas like downtown LA, Inland Orange County. Valleys and Inland Empire, low to mid 70s. Really nice afternoon. The beach is just getting up to about 65, so a bit on the cooler side there. 55 for the mountains, and the high desert about 70 degrees. We are talking about cooler temperatures, but also some wind on and off this week, and then maybe a little chance of some light showers for the mountains, but we could see some bigger changes by this coming weekend, and we'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. John, Rachel, Tony, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, Brianna, thanks.
In much cooler territory, but it's still going to be mild and really nice today. Now we're starting to see a little bit more low cloud coverage and marine layer forming right around the LAX area. Mostly it's been clear, but we do have some patchy spots of a little bit more in the way of some fog. So it's a little cloudy there at LAX, 58 degrees. And you can see some of that fog forming here as we look into Irvine, backed up against Irvine. We are seeing some mostly sunny start, and it's cool. A lot of 50s out this morning. It's getting even chillier, though, out into Santa Clarita, 49 degrees now that the sun came up. And so now we're looking at about 60 in Anaheim. And Covina dipped down to about 48. So cold temperatures in some inland areas, but then we're going to get into some really nice weather this afternoon. But it's not going to be warm like it has been. Now, with that cool down, we are also talking about some wind on and off this week. This is for the first round, which is expected to pick up a little later today. We're going to start to see a breeze fill in into some of these areas. So if you are in the Santa Clarita Valley, into some spots of the San Fernando Valley, and even northern Ventura County mountains, we'll have gusts up to about 35 miles per hour, as well as that little sliver of the Antelope Valley foothills, and gusts up to per hour, not too strong. Those winds are expected to get stronger once we see a second low pressure pass by north of us this week. So here is this one. It's well north of us, but it's causing this trough to extend into California. And so we're going to allow some of that cooler weather to filter into SoCal here. We're going to bump it up slightly Tuesday, and then between Wednesday and Thursday, another one rolls through north of us. But we're going to see between Wednesday, late Wednesday and early Thursday, a small opportunity for some mountain showers, mostly for northern LA and Ventura County mountains. So mostly to the north as this continues to skirt on by. And then we will head into this weekend, and our temperatures are expected to warm up a bit by this weekend. However, we're watching low pressure again, and if this one does move off the coast enough, there is a chance it pulls up more moisture, and we could get some spotty showers due to that. If it stays on the inside and inner areas more, then we will see a little bit more of a dry track, and we won't see much. So stay tuned for some weekend adjustments by the time before today, but then we are going to get warm the next few days. We're bumping it back down by the time that next low passes by on Thursday, and then we should be coming back up this weekend. And if you are moving into some low, mild 70s for the Antelope Valley by tomorrow, Palm Springs, though, staying in the 80s for several days this week. All right, John, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brianna, thanks.